Hi, I'm Nell. I'm a studio art major. I'm working on my semester's worth of work for the fall of 2023. Um, I'm first going to talk about a little bit of my content. I started out working with photography, and I thought that that was really helpful in terms of finding the right compositions that I was interested in. And I really found that I was drawn to a spectrum of color, and so I thought that it might be interesting to do different photos within each color and sort of break down the process of how color was working for me in terms of a photo. And then I found that it was more than that, and I felt that I needed to really do a deep dive into a color study. And so I started repeating the same things and doing a certain image across colors rather than one image within each color. And I sort of was using different images that didn't seem that memorable. For me, it was how can I take pictures of spaces that are something I might forget, and how can I remember these sort of niche nooks and crannies. And I think I'd been doing that for a long time, and I used to do that just specifically in work with ink and just reproduce those photos with ink. But this semester I found that watercolor might be a little bit more vibrant and cheerful, so I decided to stick with watercolor, and so that's kind of what I've been working with for most of the semester. However, behind me is all ink work, so I was doing a lot of inks and watercolors kind of at the same time. And as this is all going on, I was also working on this process of thinking about textures and oils, and I was really excited to think about having different canvases with pure color exist, and I thought that it might be a good idea to just paint the whole entire canvas a certain color. But then I realized that for me, it's more than just the color itself. I thought that texture might be involved, and potentially hue, and how different, how there can be different darks and lights within each color. But another thing that I've definitely been kind of going back and forth with, going back to content, was thinking about black and white as the same kind of hue as, or also colors just like yellow, orange, red, green, blue, and purple. So I was really kind of just drawn to this notion that black and white have to be treated the same. And it was really hard for me to do that, I think, because I sort of had a bias towards white and also black just as colors themselves. And so I picked larger canvases for black and white, and I also am hoping to do these thread squares with larger than the regular colors. And that's been definitely a journey for me in terms of just trying to grapple with the notion of exposure within photography and how something can be too dark or too light. And I think that just in terms of thinking about how much light is a part of the relationship of color, and how color is technically light, but how that can also exist in forms that are too dark and too light. I think some of my inspirations right now, I was really excited about this artist, Josephine Halverson. She paints really obscure spots that I was kind of interested in for a little bit, like a fireplace or just a corner of a room. And then I noticed that like she has like some of these monochrome paintings that really made a lot of sense to me. And so I have been using her work as kind of like a little like building blocks of like, okay, this is what's going on in one color, this was what is going on in a different color for her. So how might I have my own like interpretation? I did just want to include like some fun things like pool balls or like just like album covers, because I thought that color might maybe like manifest itself in like different ways for me creatively and I thought that it was interesting that I was like going through album covers for a little bit and just trying to find stuff that made sense. I did like find some Mark Rothko stuff that was like pretty inspirational, and I separated everything by color, which I don't know if I'll do that forever, but just for now in this color study, it's been helpful to separate different artists' works by color to kind of see how each artist interprets each color. I have one by Picasso, which when I thought of blue, I was like, oh, that one painting that's blue, and that for me was like something to like think about. I guess he went through like a blue phase, and I thought that was interesting in thinking about like how one individual might feel a certain color, which I guess like feeling blue is a pretty common term. But right now my big goal is getting back to the texture and really creating like some different textures for the colors, like canvases, and hopefully that can exist while the watercolor is going on too, and I can work on it all at the same time. But another thing that I'm hoping to do is, I guess like, I don't have the stuff right now, but I'm hoping to do like little like vessels of each color, and I hope that that can be in the middle of the gallery, so I can also have these certain little objects that are also like reflective of color, and thinking about like liquid as different colors as well. And then I also had this one little series of drawings that I was working on. I don't know if they're over here. Oh, here they are. But they're just kind of like colorful drawings with highlighters and Sharpie of these like ink paintings that I did of this just like cup of paint. And I thought that it was helpful to like just visualize an object, paint it, and then draw it across each color. And I had it all set up here, but it fell down. But I was interested in this Andy Warhol painting, or like, not painting, it's a screen print. And he did each screen print 10 times in 10 different colors. And I thought that was interesting, and kind of like thinking about like repetition across colors. And I think that was kind of one of the first things that I started thinking about when I started a lot of this. But yeah, who knows how long I'll keep going in this color study, but it's been an exciting endeavor for this period of time this semester. And I'm definitely grateful for the opportunity to just have a studio, which I share with Julia. And yeah, it's been a good semester so far. Thanks for watching.